I spent weeks breaking the physics of AI video generators to master 25 specific zoom techniques that trigger physical reaction in your audience. If you want to make them feel vertigo, panic, or awe, you need these 25 prompts. Part 1 is dedicated to cinematic speed and rhythm, starting with a slow burn or the creeping zoom, where we basically very slowly dramatically move to build tension or reveal characters' internal realization. So this is very simple, slow zoom. This one is even too fast. Looking directly in the eye. Used many times in many movies. Then we have a so-called crash zoom, and it represents a violent and ultra-fast zoom that basically instantly shifts the viewer attention to the specific detail. So here is our telephone, and then when we click play, you see, instant zoom. Yeah. That's that when we want to make attention to the details or focus something specifically. The third one is smooth pull out, so starting close and moving out to reveal the wider environment. So here is our jellyfish. Sometimes this works great, sometimes not particularly, but you need to reiterate. You see, here it started to zoom out too fast. But still, we get our scaling out that we wanted. Then we have the snap zoom, and this is basically an energetic and rhythmic punch used to highlight action or style. Here is our dancer, and this is being created in VO 3.1. Yeah, you see that snap. That's basically what we wanted to achieve. Nice. And often triggered by the sound, so you need to put that into the prompt. Part 2 or category 2 are psychological and narrative zooms, starting with the Dolly zoom or vertigo effect. This technique has been popularized by many movies, for example, starting with The Jaws in 1965, to emphasize the panic that the main actor is having. So if we look at that, you see, it's a brief moment where the dolly is moving outwards and the zoom lenses are moving towards the character, or vice versa. You see? Now when you want to achieve that with AI, in many cases you will receive this. It looks nice, but it looks like the character is actually sliding towards the camera, and it shouldn't be like that. And this is because of the temporal consistency and the camera on the AI, how it's working, so it's not easy to achieve. You see also here he is like sliding. Here we wanted to reimagine the scene from the film. It looks nice, interesting kind of a video, but still not what we wanted to achieve. So then I added the more complicated instruction to the AI. For example, the anchor instruction. The subject must be spatially locked to the ground. The beach chair legs must remain firmly buried at the sand. So you need to play with the prompt to really make it work. Nice. And you see, we now really did achieve kind of that effect, even though here we have some problems, but with a couple of reiterations, that should work. Nice sound also. Then we have a psychological macro zoom, or so-called the iris punch. Here is our lady looking calm, heart beating, and now we look into her eye through her soul. Then we have something called pulsing zoom, and it is hard to achieve for AI video generators. So I will use a simple and then advanced prompt. So this is our simple prompt in VO 3.1. You see, the camera is not pulsing in and out, and this is again because AI is always trying to achieve stability and temporal consistency and not, those weird camera movements. So then I tried this prompt here, more complicated one. You see, we did achieve something. Nice. Done kind of a glitch. This is VO 3.1. And then this is Sora following the prompt really nicely here. You see, it looks kind of weird, but this is what we wanted to achieve, that pulsing in and out technique. Then we have the part 3, which are environmental and scale zooms. So we're starting with a satellite drop, which is basically a top-down vertical descent that transitions from atmospheric to street level detail. AI works nicely for those kind of videos. Descending. We have this futuristic city. And yeah, you could do that hundreds of times and it will look nice. Then we have micro to macro zoom, which basically bridges the gap between the visible world and the microscopic hidden one. Here we have our moss-covered rock, so let's look inside. Yeah. And then we have something called the exit zoom, which basically pulls away upward to emphasize isolation and the end of the story, for example. Here is our lone boat in the ocean. Very cinematic. We could call part 4 the stylized and abstract zooms, starting with the infinite zoom or recursive. And here we have our painting on the wall. Let's recurse it. This looks like something from Deception. Then we have the digital glitch zoom, and let's try in VO 3.1 and Sora and Kling also. Here is VO 3.1. Nice, the pixels are there. Here is Sora 2 Pro, let's look at the whole video. Nice glitching sounds and everything. And here is Kling 2.6. Now, I don't like this, but you know, it could be a good effect for some specific kind of scenarios. '13 zoom would be Kaleidoscope zoom, which basically uses the perfect symmetry to create a surreal geometric tunnel of light. This is how it looks like. You've probably seen that hundreds of times, especially if you used ayahuasca. Part 5 is the big part, and I would call that technical and advanced zooms, starting with the parallax zoom, which is a complicated one to achieve. Basically, here we slide the camera sideways while zooming in to create a deep shifting 3D depth effect. So this was using the simple prompt, and it was not a success. Not really. Basically, this is zooming in. This is not the parallax effect. So then I tried the advanced prompt details of high velocity differential parallax slide. The camera is mounted on a 5-meter horizontal slider. You know, everything described here. And this is close to the desired effect. Yeah, sliding, then zooming in. He looks very plastic and very standing, and you see he is patting the clock for some reason. Nice. Then we have the focus zoom or rack focus shift, and here we change the magnification while simultaneously shifting focus to a new subject. So like this, we have the focus on the window and the droplets, and now the focus on the mystic car. It does look kind of a fake when you see the transition here, but still, you know, we need to be happy with the AI video generators that we have today. Just remember what we had a year ago or 2 years ago. Then we have a snapback zoom or the Bungee recoil type of zoom. Basically, this is a rapid punch in followed immediately by identical snap out to the wide shot. This is how it looks like in VO 3.1.
The pan is on fire!
It is.
Watch out, coming through!
So this is nice zoom in and zoom out, but you notice something, this is happening all the time with AI video generators, especially with VO. When you do that big snap in and snap out, you see those rays of kind of a light that looks artificial. This is Seedance 1.5 Pro, and it looks nice actually. I would say the best in this scenario. Look. And now out. And you notice we don't have those artificial rays or something like that when zooming out. Now the same thing in Grok.
It's all going wrong!
Okay.
This self-feature!
Now he started to talk on some weird language.
Help me now!
You see those lights once again. I don't know what is he doing here. Zooming in and zooming out part did look nice, but then he started talking on a different language. And this is Kling 2.6. He looks kind of confused, and then he looks mad for some reason. Let's see, zoom in, nice.
Done now!
Yes, okay, zoom out. I would say Seedance was the best here. Then we have handheld jitter zoom, which mimics human imperfection with micro shakes and uneven tracking speeds. So here is our subject in the market, and you will notice the subtle handheld movement light.
I can do a better price if you buy 2 kilos. It's the freshest turmeric in the market.
Then we have the stepped zoom, and here we are jumping between the fixed focal lengths, for example 24mm, 50mm, 84mm in rhythmic beats. This is similar to what we wanted to achieve. but only similar. Then we have a frantic surge zoom, which simulates a panicked operator struggling to find a target in a chaotic scene. Once again, the AI is too stable here. You see? Kind of a moving, but too cinematic still. You know, VO 3.1 always try to be cinematic and very steady movement. Then we have a vertigo arc, which combines a dolly zoom with 90-degree orbital rotation for a maximum distortion. This is one example. See the distortion and everything, but not completely 90-degree as we wanted to. Then we have this lady. Looks pretty good. And then we achieved this vertigo effect with this guy. Wipe transition zoom is used a lot, and it jumps from wide to tight behind a moving foreground object, for example, like a passing car. Here is our passing car. We don't see the subject. This is what we want to achieve. And now zoomed in to the subject. I don't know why she's standing in the rain alone. Then let's try to achieve lens breathing zoom, which is a tiny organic pulse in the frame that happens during a focus change. So notice our glass, it is completely in the focus and sharp, while the background is not. And now if we press play, you notice how the background became sharp and the glass blurry. This is more kind of a technical and effect part, the digital sensor zoom, so CCTV, where we intentionally degrade the quality as it zooms to mimic surveillance footage, for example. This one we'll call the subliminal creep, because we zoom so slow that it's even hard to notice that the zoom is happening. You see how slow.
Fish, it's very fresh today.
Oh yeah.
Here, have some more noodles.
Yes, eat while it's hot.
Then we have the split focus zoom, which is advanced technique in the real physical cinematography. Basically, it keeps the two subjects at a different depths in sharp focus while zooming. So with simple prompt we achieved this. Not quite right. You see, those binocular views should not be here. Okay? She's in focus, he's not. Now he's in focus because he's approaching the camera, that's normal. But this is not what we wanted to achieve. Now this is one of the results, and you see...
We've stabilized the connection points across the
Yes, so we removed the binocular here. He is in the focus, she is not yet.
entire network. The architecture holds up even under the increased load.
So we don't have the zoom that we wanted. Now this looks more like it, even though when we press play, then some weird things happening, but you know, with a couple of more iterations it would happen. See, both sharp. So it's not all the way, but almost. So there you have it. I would say the tech is the brush, but the camera or zoom is the hand. So master these 25 zoom techniques and you stop being only a prompter, you became a director.